Hello, good afternoon. I hope you're all well and having a great day so far. I thought I'd come live today and talk about personal development. I wanted to give you some questions to think about in terms of your development and actually how to develop yourself to move towards the goal that you have for yourself or the aspiration that you've got for your life. And I've been thinking about something in my life in the past and it triggered me to come live and talk about this. So I'm going to give you some actual questions to use to ask yourself that you might find helpful if you're wondering like what development to do to actually move yourself forward faster rather than just keep sort of flitting around. I think like we all do, looking at like lots of things. But before I get into that, let me just ask you to hashtag replay if you're watching this on replay. And so many more people have joined the group. Let me just introduce myself quickly. I'm Leanne Bridges. I'm a success coach and the host of this community. And I help ambitious entrepreneurs and business owners who know that they're capable of more to stop limiting themselves for more success, wealth and happiness in their life. So the reason that this came up for me is because I've been reflecting at a time in my life when I can remember saying, that's it, I am never, ever studying again. And it came after a time when I'd gone to, been at school, obviously, and got to the end of sixth form and I decided I wanted to go out to work. That's just the sort of person I was. I wanted to go off and do the job. And so I had decided then that I did need to go to university, so I'd study part-time because I just didn't want to be a full-time student. And so I then spent 7 years studying right through to a master's degree. And so it is understandable, I think, that I got to the end of that and I just got to the point where I said, right, that's it. I'm no more. I'm not doing any more personal development ever again. And I think working full time and studying had taken its toll on me at that point. So anyway, as it turns out, that was a really terrible decision, just to confirm that. Because what I hadn't realised is like what I would miss out on. Now, fortunately, over time, I moved beyond that feeling of dread when I thought about studying, and I've gone on to do some really fantastic personal development, and some of that has really changed loads of things for me. It's changed the way that I think. Some of it changed my performance and some of it's really changed like the whole direction of my life. So there's been like lots of different outcomes. And over recent years, the investment I've made in myself has been some of the best time and energy and money that I've ever invested. And I always find that I make time for those things that I invest in, that I pay for, and that I'll diligently follow things where I've bought them and remain accountable because I've invested in myself. And as a result, for me, I've become, I think, a better coach. I've definitely become a better coach. I've become a better business owner. And like, quite frankly, I think I've become a better person. Because I've learned so much about myself and other people that I enjoy life in a whole new way now that I never would have done if I'd not done all of that thing, if I'd stuck to my guns after my experience of part-time study and not studied again. And the thing is, I think we get to this point in our life, or certainly for me, where it could be really easy to say yes to everybody else. You know, yes to what everyone else wants, yes to like what your kids want, your family need, and all of the time and effort that you need to put in there. However, it comes to a point when we decide enough's enough. I need to do something to develop myself, to take myself forward. And so I thought I'd just come live today and talk about that if that's the point that you've got to in your life, and some of the questions you can ask yourself so that you invest your time, money and effort in something really worthwhile rather than sort of like just flitting around, which I see lots of people do and do bits of everything. So look, assuming that you have set some goals, because if you've not, then that's a good place to start, is actually to set yourself a goal about what you want from the future. But if I assume that for now, because I'd be here for half an hour talking if we talk about goal setting, then if you're not sure where you want to start, then there are some really good questions that you can ask yourself. So the first question to ask yourself is like, what are you good at and what are your top 3 achievements? Okay, now the reason to start here is because what this is doing is helping you get into a mindset that's more open, and once you start to look at the good things about yourself, that helps you to then go on and bring more perspectives into some of the areas that maybe you find more difficult to open up. Okay, so this will get you into a really good frame of mind, make you feel really good and get you into the zone of thinking about those areas that you might want to go on and critique and develop. So what are you good at and what are your top 3 achievements? Oh, we've got builders in. I can hear them outside making a right racket. Hopefully you can still hear me. Anyway, I'm not going to complain, I can't wait for it to be finished. And then once you've looked at the things that you're good at, then think about 3 further questions. So I would suggest that you look at what fears you the most. Okay, so when you think about your goal, what is the thing that scares you the most, and how might that hold you up? So that's the first question I'd ask them. Then the second question I would be asking is, what are your bad habits or your routines that might get in your way? Because there'll be things that you're doing, routines that you've got, ways of working, being, that might hold you up. So have a look at those. And then think about, how do you present yourself to other people, and where might that hold you up? Okay, so what fears you the most? What are your bad routines, bad habits, or unsuitable habits or unsuitable routines? And then how do you present yourself to other people and other ways that that might hold you up? And then those are just 3 questions to get you going, thinking about, okay, well, what is it that I need to actually work on? So reflect then on your answers. And just choose one personal development goal. So I really would advise against, I think when I was in corporate life, people would have 5 or 6 or 7, just pick one thing and really focus on that. And then look at all the things that you've said are holding you up. And then just think, okay, what's the top priority here? Like, what one thing off this whole list of things, if I focused on it, would it really move me forward? Not what do I want to do, what would be nice? I would like to probably spend lots of time learning Spanish, but that's not going to take me forward in my progress in terms of my business development, my professional progress. That's something I'd probably go on and do a little bit of at some point soon. But what is the one critical thing that if you actually overcome that will make a massive difference to your professional and personal progress, depending on what you're looking at. And look, if you do that, and then with that one thing, just find one program, one person, one product, whatever the thing is, that will actually help you achieve that. Okay, and if you do that, then you'll be certain to start to make progress in that area of your life, rather than just sitting and thinking about it. Because I think we do that quite often. We know that we need to do something. We know we need to develop professionally, and we think about it a lot, but actually don't take action. So if you pick one thing and then one program, one person, one way of overcoming that particular development need, then that will really get you taking action. And look, if you do that, what I've found is that you will shortcut the learning curve, because certainly for me, some of the things that either coaches or on programs I've learned have absolutely shortcut how long it would have taken me to find all of that out for myself. And it will obviously increase the likelihood of success, because without it, you're going to spend a long time making mistakes, and sometimes painful and expensive mistakes. So why do that? And the second thing is, I think if you do that, it will really release a lot of your abilities. I think lots of people live with mediocrity. I don't know if that's the right word, but with things just being okay, because they doubt their ability. Or are afraid just to try things. And you'll find that by working on one area, focusing on one personal development area, that you will unlock so much in yourself. And maybe not on just the thing that you're working on, you may unlock other things alongside it too. I know that whenever I go off and do something on a program, yes, I go to learn a specific thing, but then quite often I find I learn so much more, either from the community that I'm in or the person I'm working with and their experiences. So I find that I actually start to unlock other things I never really intended to learn. And I think that it's really the only way to move forward fast. Because if you keep doing what you're doing, of course you get what you always got. That's a saying, isn't it? If you always do what you always do. No, if you always do what you always did, you always get what you always got. Anyway, whatever the saying. And so people who are successful typically in life aren't just lucky. I think sometimes we look at people and think, oh, they're really lucky. And from what I see, those people are putting effort in and they're focusing on achieving it. And where you put your focus and where you put your energy is where you'll start to get results. So that's all that I wanted to say today about personal development. I hope that there was some really good questions to ask yourself. You might want to just note them down if you've not already, because I think these sorts of questions you want to sit and ponder. Certainly won't have come to an answer in this short live video. So if you haven't noted them down and that's something that personal development is something you want to work on, then I suggest you go back and write those questions down, and then take yourself 20 minutes later on today and really give some thought to that, because I think that's going to be 20 minutes that's going to be really well spent in terms of making some headway in your professional life. So I hope that was really useful useful for you. If you've got any questions, please do ask in the comments. I'd absolutely love to help you with anything that you're wondering about. Tell me what came up for you. Tell me, I'd love to hear, like, how much time do you invest in personal development? Is that something you focus on? Would you like to? Do you shelve that for other things that seem to be priorities? Like, let me know what's going on for you, because I absolutely love to hear what's happening for people in this community and supporting and helping you as much as I can. So I hope that was useful. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and I'm sure I'll catch up with you really soon. Take care.